You're making one right decision today. You're listening to Handcuffs and Sage.
Three badass moms bringing you all the true crime and paranormal your heart desires.
I'm Red.
I'm Timo.
I'm Dre. And don't let your kids listen. Seriously, just don't.
Hey, it's Handcuffs and Sage.
Woohoo! Hey!
This is Red.
Hey, hey.
Hi, this is Timo.
Hey, this is Dre.
Dre's on a serious delay, y'all.
What's up?
5 hours later.
She's such on a delay.
That's okay. We
This is so
accept
much
and love
fun.
you still.
Oh no, I've never heard the delay as bad as it is. So y'all, we're still zooming. We're still
always
zooming.
do it.
So
We
we just go with the flow here.
I always catch something and I want to interject like, oh, I have something to say. And then you guys are like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like I'm interjecting in the wrong moment. You know what I mean?
We just think you're weird.
It's the
That's all.
delay.
We're like, what
Oh
are
no, you sound
talking
great
about?
now. We were having a little
I am.
we were having a little spotty Wi-Fi right there, like you were freezing up a little bit, but I think that helped you because now you're totally like in sync. It's cool. Whatever happened, it fixed it.
So yesterday was great. We had our first little event that we went to, and it was
Yes.
this cute boutique, and everyone was selling the cutest crafts and food items, and everything was very like fall, and creepy. It was just everything was super cute.
It was
And-
our type of freaking boutique. It wasn't like those like toilet paper holders and like, remember those padded, I don't know if you guys know this, but remember these or not, but my mom used to make them and I used to go to boutiques with her and sell them, but they were like the old photo albums that you had the sticky paper that you'd pull and
Yeah.
but we'd make them padded. So we'd put like batting and then cover them with like all these fancy like materials and stuff. And they were really cool. But no, this was like scary candles and spooky this and Halloweenie this. It was so much fun. It was great.
Everyone was so fun and nice, and we got to talk about things that we love, of course, true crime and paranormal with people. A lot of people had never even like listened to a podcast yet, so it was good to talk to people about podcasting and what we do and kind of bring that to their attention. It was a lot of fun, and I want to give a shout out to Stephanie and Amy for going and being such good helpers, for us yesterday. It was really nice.
So much
Everything
fun.
was a lot of fun.
We have really good true friends and I love them to death. One thing that we would like kind of put our feelers out when people would walk in, we were in a little room and we go, hey, do you like true crime? Do you like paranormal? And it was like, whoop! And then they look at us and they're like, yep. Right. There's like so many of our people that would be like, yeah, I do. And then we totally got them hooked. So
it was such a good vibe. It was a good vibe. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of being at Crime Con because when my sister and I went, it was like we were with our people. Right. You could talk to anyone about anything like that. And we were speaking the same language, right? It felt so good. It was a lot of fun. We wore the cutest dresses and we got so many props about our dresses.
I know. Everybody loved them.
We so cute, y'all. We so cute.
And it was a miracle that we found those. All three sizes, the three big ones that were left, because we ain't tiny, y'all. But I mean, you girls are getting tiny. I'm taking the weight that you guys are losing, I think. But I'm starting keto tomorrow because it takes one picture to kind of like hit you in the face and be like, dang girl, you need to do something. You need to take care of that. You need to take care of that shit. So anyways, but there was 5 dresses left. They had this little Halloweenie material, 2 extra smalls and 3 big ones, and they all fit us. And they were on sale, and they were absolutely gorgeous. And it was just meant to be. It was so cool.
Very, very cute. Talking about having a photo kind of jolt your life up a little bit is this last week on Facebook, I kind of shared the picture that did it for me, made me have that moment was last Christmas. And our family took these photos and we were wearing these Santa shirts I had gotten everyone. And they made it into a calendar for everyone in the family. Oh, so sweet. I get this calendar and I see the pictures and I just bawled. I cried. You know, you see a picture of yourself and you go,
It's
that
horrible.
is not who I am meant to be.
But
right?
also, that's not how people see you either. Like, you're your worst critic.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at those
for
pictures
sure.
from yesterday and I'm like, oh my God. But I know that everybody else is kind of looking at them. We're like, yeah, you're a big girl, but what, it's not like absolutely grotesque like I'm making it out to be. I mean, I'm sure those people out there that, you know, don't like bigger girls and you have to be pretty and thin and everything to be like beautiful in the world. I'm sure those people might have something to say, but it's all right. I think I'm okay. So I just gotta
No,
lose a
you're
little.
fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. It was just amazing to me that I had that happen. I had that photo happen for me. It shook me to the core. I decided to make changes in 2020 despite all the crazy shit that happened this year. And I was able to do a before and after. It's really a before and in the middle, right? Because I'm not
Yeah.
done losing weight. But
Mhm.
just seeing it side by side made me feel so proud of myself
Right.
that I made that commitment. And, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And when
I
you
feel
can
like-
see the difference, oh, it means so much. And I know Dre is on the same journey.
Yeah.
And she's just kicking ass. You're just kicking ass, girl.
I
It's
feel like you really
amazing.
do have to see the side by side. You know,
Yeah,
you have to visualize and see it side by side to see, like, not only, well, this is what got me started, but holy shit, this is where I'm at. And I mean, on a daily basis, I still feel like the fat girl. I still feel like I have a long way to go. And I know that we all look at ourselves and think like, oh, gross, you know, but we have accomplished so much, you know. And it's good to see that side by side, to like kind of pat yourself on the back and say, no, yeah, we're on our path and we're doing a great thing.
I'm proud of you
because
guys.
Thank you.
Fucking Red was in the middle and she looked like this fucking skinny bitch. And I'm like, look at this skinny bitch. I look like a freaking blob next to you, girlfriend.
Oh my God. No, look, let's stay positive. You're going to start keto tomorrow. We're all on a weight loss journey, right? And it's an everyday work at thing, right? And we can all do it together. So I'm just really proud of us. I think we had a great time yesterday.
It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So
and I know I'm sorry. I know I had a bunch of fun because when I got home, I was so freaking exhausted. I took a nap and I was still exhausted. It was like when you're a kid and you go to Disneyland and you're so exhausted. Like when you get home at night, you're just like, I had the best day of my life. But I was so tired. I was so tired all day.
Let me tell you what I came home to, y'all. So I came home, I was tired. I had all this stuff to bring inside from the event, right? And my hubby was trying to be real sweet and organize the pantry for me with new shelving, which is so sweet because I had been asking him to do it, but he had pulled everything out of the shelves and, you know, left it on the counter for me to put back in.
No.
Oh, hell no. So I still have to put all this stuff back in these shelves that he put in for me. So that was nice. That was a fun surprise.
Oh, so sweet though. Do you think that maybe he thought, oh, I might put something in the wrong spot. I better not touch it. I better let her do it.
I think he wanted me to see what he did. I don't know if you guys get this, if you get this, Dre, but I swear anytime he does anything in the house, I have to come and see. He needs me to come and see what he has done
all the time.
He wants me to say, good job. You're the best. Couldn't do anything without you doing this thing in the garage. Thank you. Awesome.
That happens all the time. My husband's the best at getting new technology. And so I walk into the kitchen and I cannot turn the light on. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And he's like, babe, let me show you something. And he's all excited. Oh, I need to ask her to turn that on for me. This is awesome. He did it with my accent lights and I was like so irritated. I was like, what? But
I would be so irritated too. I'd be like, what you do?
Yeah. So I'm like asking her to turn on my accent lights now. And then like, she doesn't understand what I'm saying. And I'm like, turn on the light. Oh my gosh. Stop it. But now I like it. I really do.
Oh, good,
and it's cool because if I forget to leave, when I leave them on, I forget to turn them off. Right. And then at night, we got to turn them off, and it's just a flip of the thing on the phone. I don't have to walk all the way to the kitchen now.
That
So
is
I kind of
nice.
love that. Yeah.
Because I always be leaving the lights on. Always.
I know. It's a thing.
Worse than the kids. Okay. I'm getting a little hot here, y'all. I'm going to pull up my leggings. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I put something super spooky together. Ooh.
What?
Ooh,
No,
October,
not
baby.
really. October, baby. I put together a little countdown for a Halloween murder.
Ooh.
I love all of you so much. Some of them I think I should do a deep dive episode on some of them.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to do a countdown. So Halloween is coming up in a couple weeks. The best time of the year. And these stories are so crazy bananas. I know that some of you guys will know some of these stories, but it's kind of fun to do a countdown to this number one, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. So I got a lot of this information from insider.com and medium.com. And the first one I'm going to do, my number 10, is one I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of before.
Okay.
So we'll see. Come with me. It's Halloween murder countdown. Okay.
I love it.
So this is number 10. Halloween 1974. We're in the 70s now. Woo.
Time warp.
Time warp. We have 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien, this sweet little boy. He went out trick-or-treating, and this was in Houston. When he returns home, his father, Ronald, gave him one last treat, a pixie stick. Do you guys know the story yet?
No.
Yes.
Dre does.
Not yet for me.
Sweet Timothy eats this pixie stick, and unfortunately, within minutes, he is throwing up and he is in a terrible state. An ambulance comes, gets Timothy, and on the way to the hospital, he dies.
Oh, no.
Yes. So his father, Ronald, was questioned by police several times, and his story changed over and over and over again, which is never good. And it finally came out that Ronald had put cyanide in his candy. What? Apparently, yes, Ronald was in deep debt and had taken life insurance policies out on his kids. Yes, and he gave the cyanide to Timothy Halloween night. A year later, he was found guilty of murder. He got the death penalty by lethal injection. And the reason why we're talking about this story still to this day is this is the story that started all parents checking kids' candy every Halloween, right? You've all heard the stories. Yeah. People put things in the candy. It all stems from this Halloween murder, which is awful.
I can't believe that was 1974 because
1974.
I mean, how many years later, we're like talking about almost 50 years later and everybody still does it,
Yeah.
But
I mean, we've all heard stories like razor blades and candy, things like that, right? Yeah. But it all stems from this one story, which is just crazy. Yeah. So my number 9 Halloween murder takes place in Napa, California. Leslie Mazzara, Adrian Itzagna, and Lauren Minza were passing out candy to trick-or-treaters in 2004. Around 11 p.m., they all went to bed. Lauren woke up to hearing screams from the upstairs bedrooms. Lauren ran out of the house, got in her car, and drove away. She left her 2 friends in the house.
Oh, that was great.
Leslie and Adrian were both stabbed to death in the home. They were both 26 years old. Awful. Eric Koppel, a friend of one of the victims, Lauren, was found guilty of the murders. He did confess, but gave no motive as to why he did this Halloween night. He confessed and got a life sentence without parole.
Damn, with friends like that.
So that's weird that
Best friends.
if she was downstairs, he just totally figured they were all upstairs together, I guess, and just went straight upstairs.
I have no idea, but this is definitely one, honestly, that I'm going to do a deep dive into.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's why a lot of stuff was left out of our number 9 Halloween
Okay,
murder.
good.
But
Okay, gotcha.
So many
because
questions.
there are so many layers to this story.
Ooh, fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Number 8 for Halloween murders. In 1979, Shirley Ledford was hitchhiking after a Halloween party. Can I just say, just a reminder, don't hitchhike ever, and especially after a Halloween party, Halloween night. Okay? Can we all agree to never do that? Pinky promise, y'all?
Yep.
Don't do it. Do not do it. So Shirley is hitchhiking, and she is picked up by 2 men in a van. Okay, I think we should stop right here and say, never get into a van hitchhiking Halloween night. Can we all promise not to do that? Okay, great.
Yeah.
These 2 men end up being the Toolbox Murderers, Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris. They were known for picking up female hitchhikers, torturing them with tools found in a tool box. They like to take pictures during their killings.
Oh, geez.
After torturing poor Shirley, they left her body on a stranger's lawn. She was their final victim after they were turned in by a friend. Bittaker was sentenced to death, and Norris got 45 years for cooperating with the case. So that is my number 8. We are now at number 7, Halloween murder. The night before Halloween, 1975, Martha Moxley went to a costume party. Y'all know who Martha Moxley is? What?
No, never heard of her.
Nope.
Okay, my true crime heart just kind of squeezed for a second. It'll me start breathing again. It'll
come to us. Okay.
Okay.
Sweet baby Jesus. We have so much to do, don't we? Okay. So Martha Moxley's body is found the next morning, Halloween morning. She's found dead in her backyard, beaten to death with a golf club. She's only 15 years old.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 25 years later, Michael Skakel was convicted of the murder. Michael Skakel is related to the Kennedys. Nothing? This is not jogging anyone's memory. It's concerning, but we're going to press on and we'll talk about this later. This was in the news. This was all over.
She's like, when we get home tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to sit down and talk about Martha Moxley.
We're in trouble.
I know it. Michael got 20 years in prison. May 4th, 2018, though, the Supreme Court actually vacated his conviction, which is very rare. That does not happen very often. And the case is now reopened back to the public. Okay.
I think I know
now. Okay. Yeah. This is a big one. That's a heavy hitter one. So I'm surprised you guys didn't hear about that. That's okay. So we are on number 6 for my Halloween murder countdown. In 1992 in New Orleans, an exchange student, Yoshihiro Hattori, headed out to a Halloween party, but he struggled to find the address. He thought he had found the right house. He went up to the door and knocked. No one came to the door. So he walked away. He was almost back to his car, and he realized the door had opened. He then turned and said, "We're here for the party." And the man in the door said nothing and shot him with a revolver. Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh no, my beloved
Yeah.
New Orleans. What's going on?
Rodney Pierce claimed he was scared and thought someone was trying to trespass with criminal intent. He was charged with manslaughter. He invoked the castle doctrine, which is right applying lethal means to protect your home, and he was found not guilty.
Wow.
This really
That's
bothers me that this kid comes up and knocks on his door. He shoots him and he was found not guilty, which is,
Yeah, that's shitty.
that blows my mind. That blows my mind. So number 5 on the Halloween murder countdown takes place in Los Angeles, Halloween night, 1957. Peter and Betty Fabiano were asleep when in the middle of the night, the doorbell rang. Peter got out of bed and brought candy to the door. He thought it might be a trick-or-treater.
Oh no.
I know. On the doorstep was a woman wearing a mask. She raised her hand with a paper bag around it and shot him in the chest, killing Peter instantly.
Oh no.
Awful. The police arrest Joan Rebel, who had had a sexual relationship with Betty, Peter's wife. Plot twist. Who saw that coming? Rebel had talked to Golden Pizer into killing Peter. Rebel was convicted of second-degree murder along with Pizer and was sentenced to 5 years to life in prison. Both were later released. Betty was never tried for any connection to her husband's death.
Wow.
First of all, Betty is just the best name ever. Love it.
That's my mom's name.
Love, dig it, want it. Betty forever.
And if your middle name is Jean, as in like Betty Jean or Betty
Betty
Joe,
Jean. It's all good.
Your nickname can be BJ.
Yeah.
Oh, you such a hoe for thinking of that, like right
Isn't
off
that
the
fun?
spot.
I had a
You're a
girlfriend
hoe.
and I called her BJ.
I'm sure you
called her
did,
blowjob.
girl. But this was a real plot twist. I was not expecting a whole sexual relationship happening with Rebel. So that was our number 5. We're now at number 4 of our Halloween murder countdown. October 31st, 1981. Sister Tadia Ben's body is found naked in a convent in Texas. There was a broken window in the community room, and the nuns had called the police immediately. The police had found Ben's clothing and a knife under a bed. In the autopsy, it was found that she had been stabbed, strangled, and sexually assaulted. This poor nun. Awful.
Oh, man.
Police arrested a man living across the street, Johnny Frank Garrett, after a witness had seen him running from the convent. He was sentenced to death in 1992. His last words were, "I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me. The rest of the world can kiss my ass."
Oh shit.
So he was a nice guy, real pleasant.
Tell me how you really feel.
Real boyfriend material over here. God, Johnny was a douche. All right, we are on number 3 of Halloween murder countdown. Halloween night, 1998. This takes place in the Bronx. Carl Jackson and his girlfriend are going to pick up her son from a Halloween party. Teenagers are throwing eggs at their car. Did you guys ever throw eggs Halloween night?
Yes.
No. Dre! You little badass teenager. Ooh, I'm telling your mom,
It's
Betty.
so
I'm
bad.
telling Betty. She has to know now. She has to
Yeah,
know.
we never threw them at cars. We threw them at a house across a field, and I don't think we were strong enough to ever reach the house. But it was fun to try.
That you tried.
Yeah,
Oh my
At least
goodness.
the house is
So
better than the
naughty.
yeah, the house is better than the
yeah,
car, I think, because
Oh, the
I
paint.
think it eats the
It comes
paint or
off.
something, right?
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
does. Yeah,
it does.
yeah.
It totally messes it up. So these little dickhead teenagers are throwing eggs at his car. So Jackson gets out of the car to talk shit to the little fuckers. And one of them pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head, killing him instantly.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. No,
Carl
nobody deserves
Jackson,
that.
he was only
Mm-mm.
21 years old
Oh my
when
God.
he was killed. So 17-year-old Curtis Sterling was charged with second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon. He is serving 20 years. Every Halloween, he receives a card that says, "I'm glad you're still in there," from Jackson's mother.
Oh, how sad. And he only got 20
Mhm.
years? Second
20
degree?
years. They probably took into account his age. He was
Yeah.
17, and all 17-year-olds are dipshit morons. Terrible. This
I
is
have one.
terrible.
I know.
What, girl? All right. We're on number 2 of our
I'm so excited.
Halloween murder countdown. In 2010, 16-year-old Devin Griffin came home after church Halloween day. He started playing video games. The night before, he had been at a sleepover at a friend's house. He realizes that the house is a little too quiet and decides to check in on his family. Devin finds his stepfather in bed covered in blood. When the police get there, they find 2 more bodies, his mother and brother. The murderer turned out to be his stepbrother, William Lisk.
Oh.
Lisk beat his stepbrother, Derek Griffin, with a hammer, shot his father 5 times, sexually assaulted and shot his stepmother, Susan. He pled guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder to avoid the death penalty. But he was found dead in 2015 in his cell from a self-inflicted wound. So he killed himself. He did. He dead now. Awful. I feel so bad for Devin finding his family like that and then finding out it's your stepbrother. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, not good.
Awful. You guys, we are at number 1.
Yeah.
Halloween murder. Let me have a drink. I need to cleanse my palate. We need to get ready for this ride, okay? Buckle up. Number 1. Halloween night, 1981. Ronald Sisman and girlfriend Elizabeth Platzman are together and they're about to do a photo shoot at his place. They were drinking some wine and enjoying their time when a group of masked individuals show up at their front door. The bodies of Ronald and Elizabeth were found early Saturday morning in their apartment near Greenwich Village. The couple had been beaten and shot in the back of the head, execution style. The place had been ransacked and furniture had been ripped open. There was no sign of forced entry. One of the missing items from the scene was a .25 caliber pistol that was registered to Sisman. The other items that were missing were both victims' driver's licenses. The police got a call from an informant with a strange story. He said that someone he knew had predicted the murders weeks prior. David Berkowitz, the son of Sam Killer.
What?
It was said that David was part of a satanic cult and really didn't ever act alone. The informant told police that weeks before the murders, Berkowitz told him that his cult was going to torture and perform a ritual killing on Halloween. He described Sisman's residence. Berkowitz elaborated that Sisman had a snuff video of one of the Son of Sam killings that could have shed light on the cult and make people rethink that Berkowitz had acted alone. Sisman had been hired by the cult to record a video, but they did not tell him beforehand what was going to be on the video.
Oh, shit.
So after this snuff video is made, Sisman is ticked to be any kind of part of it. The cult was worried Sisman would use the video as leverage with the police to get out of some drug charges he had. Police contacted Berkowitz and he gave an accurate depiction of Sisman's residence. The licenses had been stolen, and this happened with the other cult killings. To this day, no one has been arrested for their murders.
Wow.
Ooh. So that is my top 10 Halloween murder stories.
Yay.
Yay.
Are there more? Are there more? Could you have done like top 20?
Do you need more from me, Timo?
I think
Is
so.
this not enough? Are you not entertained?
I'm so
so
surprised that
interesting.
there's 10 or just 10 that you
Right?
found.
Oh, I'm sure there's more. If I like tried hard, I guess I can find more.
That's so crazy. I
Yeah.
guess how Halloween is like, it spurs up whatever and people go crazy. I don't know. Or
Mhm.
This year is going to be nuts because there's a full moon.
oh, no.
Halloween Saturday night. People are going to be stupid. I just know it. For sure.
Is it also like the daylight savings too here in California?
Yes, that is
It
correct.
is, right? So we get an
It
extra
is?
hour to be bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Extra hour for Halloween murders.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so scary. Okay.
Mhm.
Imagine
Wow.
imagine it's a full moon too. Oof.
It
Yeah.
is. It is a fucking
Yeah.
full moon. It's going to be insane. You
Yeah.
didn't know
Aw.
that? Oh, girl.
I feel like
There's going to be
I
werewolves,
feel like I was
witches,
joking.
ghosts, voodoos. Hell
Yeah.
no, honey. It is
Oh
real
my God.
and it is going to get us. We are not safe. None of us are safe.
Yeah.
Unless
sure.
you get Simply Safe. Just kidding. Not sponsored.
That's so funny.
Yay! Woo, Halloween. Okay.
Well, Red, you must have been sending me like mind waves because today I decided to forego my third part of Skinwalker Ranch and I decided to do something Halloweeny as well.
Ooh, Halloween time.
It's so bananas. So it's great. I have so much story to tell you about Skinwalker Ranch. And I was doing my notes and I put something on in the background and the show popped up. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do this story. So I'm going to start off with a little poem that kind of puts it all together, kind of gives you like a foreshadowing of what's to come. A night when shadow worlds collide and past and present slip and slide. The dead and damned of every shade through our world may now parade.
Ooh, Halloween time.
So I am going to talk about Halloween, the Feast of the Dying Sun.
Ooh.
And I'm a big fan of Halloween, y'all, and I've never heard of this. And the reason why is because we're going to cross the pond to the United Kingdom.
Ooh, that's fun.
So this is basically history of Halloween in the eyes of Wales, Ireland, and Scotland. And, you know, they've been around for a very, 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 very long time. So this goes way back, y'all, way back. So it was October 31st, according to the ancient Celtic worldview, the old year was coming to an end. A gathering darkness cloaked the land at sunset and two worlds collided and merged with each other. This was called Sauin, and it's spelled
Yes.
Sauin. Okay.
Samhain.
This is the Feast of the Dying Sun. That's what it means. It started out as a festival in darkness, but one single bonfire brought it to light. Runners ran with torches, sparking up the light all around. They would light other bonfires, and that ended the festival of darkness. The two worlds were breached, and from this night onwards, the power of darkness would increase towards midwinter. So this is kind of like a documentary. I found it on Amazon. It's free, y'all, so you don't have to pay for it. It's a lot of old world words, a lot of old world things that we might not get because it is, you know, cultures that aren't ours as Americans. And I think everybody should get something to drink because I'm going to have to do a lot of pronunciations that I might not get right.
I have
Oh,
water.
I have
People
iced
are
tea.
about to get not drunk because
I
I'm
know.
doing a rain right now, honey.
Oh, okay,
Orange
girl.
dreamsicle. It's so good. So good.
So during Samhain, the boundaries between the past, the present, and the future cease to exist. A millennia has passed since the first festival of Samhain, and today the festival is Halloween. So Samhain is
Yes.
now Halloween.
Yes.
There's many layers of history that have merged together in ancient customs that we still celebrate on this darkest time of the night. Trick-or-treating is another custom that we still reenact today, but it was the processions of the poor who once traveled from house to house demanding gifts of food and drink.
I feel like doing this also, just like demanding
Yeah.
shit.
I have
I will
another
do
one
it.
that's
Don't
coming up.
tempt me.
You know, I have another one that's coming up that I think we should do. It sounds really fun, really, really fun. So on this night, humans have always required disguises. And if you were recognized by the other world inhabitants, your body and soul were in danger of extinction.
Yes. So that's why they dressed up.
That's
right?
why people dress
to
up in
fool
costumes.
the other world. I love
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm. So
I
even
fooled
though,
you.
what?
So I fooled you. You didn't get me.
Right. So on the island of Uist, on the coast of Scotland, trick-or-treating is far too dangerous for children to undertake. So adults disguised in costume parade silently from house to house, where those within try to guess who they are. If their true names are discovered, they face a nerve-wracking journey back home for whatever may be hiding in the darkened roads. And this is going to bring us into fairy interference, is what they called it. Okay.
Oh.
I love it. I
I
want to be
know.
a fairy interference.
Oh gosh, just wait, y'all. So if not disguised, and if you are being pursued by a fairy, you could simply deter them by turning your jacket inside out, and it would send them on their way. They would. So it seems like the fairies weren't too smart. So here we have another little poem for you. Far sweeter sound of the forest notes, where forest streams are falling. Oh, love of mine, I cannot stay. The fairy folk are calling.
I love all these poems.
Ooh. Magical.
I know. But Samhain was celebrated way before the Celts were celebrating it. And it basically started somewhere around the 5th century. Back then, the one-armed, one-legged, one-eyed race called the Fomorians collected a tribute of children, food, and drink. And they would do this on Samhain. And then they would take their spoils to their hidden island off the northwest coast of Ireland. If you didn't pay the Fomorians for what they wanted, they would wreak havoc on you. You would be faced with warfare and devastation. Okay, so
No
the
pressure.
Fomorians, yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually, you guys, this gets a little wild here, so just stay with me. Eventually, the magical race of the Tuatha De Danann landed in cloud ships on top of the Iron Mountains, and they defeated the evil Fomorians. The Celts then later took over the Danann, whose gods were buried beneath these large mounds spread across the Celtic land. So in Ireland, you can actually see these huge mounds on the coast, and they said that these are the Danann gods that were killed and then buried under these mounds, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of like our Indian mounds that we have all across. But all these races continued to interact, especially on Halloween or Samhain. They became a part of the otherworld, mostly known as the Land of Fairy. They shared their domain with banished angels from heaven, elemental spirits, and the souls of humanity. There was a woman of the hill who guarded these fairy entrances. She was a banshee. She had many names. She would stalk the houses of those whose journey was about to begin from life to death. She had silver gray hair, a pale face, red eyes, and a sorrowful cry that was unearthly and terrifying. She was thought to be the guardian between the worlds, or she was also believed to be the carrier of the soul of her recently deceased victims. Now, we all know what a banshee is, right? It's this woman that screams and supposedly she can do many, many, many things.
I am a total banshee girl. Especially a certain time of the month. I go full banshee.
So funny. Single hawthorn bushes. Now, I guess these are like all over the country. They believe that these are called fairy trees, and if you dare to uproot one or cut one down, you may suffer strange illnesses and uncanny accidents. These trees are really weird too, because they kind of have thorny branches sticking out of them, but it blooms flowers halfway through. So it's like a limb, a flower, and then like a pointy thorn. And then it kind of has like this like fuzzy, mossy appearance. It's a really strange looking tree. Okay, so we're going to the north of Wales. There's a church. It's called St. Degane's Church. And in their graveyard, they have a 4,000-year-old yew tree, and that's Y-E-W. And it's said to be one of the oldest living things in the world.
Oh, wow.
So every Samhain, the yew tree spirits whisper the names of those in the parish that are supposed to be departing that following year. So if you're gonna die, and this tree will whisper your name, I guess.
Well, whisper your name. What if you hear your name? You're like, but I've been working out, I've been eating right, but the tree's saying my name. I'm just confused right now.
I know. So one summer night, Sauin Robert, he was the tailor. He was drinking in a nearby pub, and he was getting pretty wasted. And he said to his friends, I'm going to prove to you that the whispering yew is just a myth. So despite his friends telling him, don't go, Robert, don't go, Robert.
No. Don't go, man, don't do it.
He staggered to the church graveyard.
Lord.
He stood confidently in front of the tree, and he heard his name whispered. Okay, he probably pissed his pants right there.
What if the tree just said, loser? And then he's like, oh, shit.
So he yelled, hold, I am not ready.
No.
But ready or not.
Hold on. 1 second, please.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Tree,
hold on, bitch.
Stop moving. Yeah.
So, but ready or not, Sauin Robert died before the following year ended.
I kind of saw that one coming, Timo.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So during Samhain, it said that portals open where fairies can come into the mortal world and humans can enter the lands of fairy. It is said that in Wales, there's a place called Pentre Ifan, and that's been a huge, huge portal. The Druids actually used it for their initiation into their clan, So what they would do is they would drug their initiate and leave them there overnight to experience the voyage to the other worlds.
Oh, no, thank you. Do not sign me up. I'll pass on the clan
Could you
life,
imagine?
okay?
They were probably hallucinating and thought they were actually going into like some type of weird realm, and they were just, having a trip. So goblins, a phantom horseman, and a white lady have been reported being seen there in the recent years. So that's a wide range of different of recent years. Yeah. So I guess it's a really popular place, and it kind of looks like a little mini Stonehenge. It's not circle, but it's square. So there's like 4 stones and then kind of like a top stone. So it looks like a little stone structure.
So this is a tourist spot? People
I
can
think
go.
so. I think it could be, yes.
How cool is that?
It also is said to be the haunt of black dogs, large black cats, and even a lion. So maybe I'm thinking that black cats came, how, because we have black cats in our little Halloween thing. I'm thinking maybe this is part of that. And then we're fun. This is going to be so much fun. Crop circles have occurred in nearby fields. Yeah. And
just
then
like Stonehenge.
I know, exactly. It's weird, right?
That gave me chills.
Yeah.
What does it mean? What does this mean? I don't know.
And then the strange lights, they see strange lights too. They call them earth lights. And the older generation have been reported to call these earth lights corpse candles, and they're an omen of death.
God.
Yeah, they're an omen of death.
We call them corpse candles. Do you want to buy some for $10?
Oh my gosh. So other portals though can just like pop up wherever, so you could just be like walking along, and they show this dude, you're gonna love this story. They show this dude, he's like an older and dressed, it's like past times. He's just like cruising through the forest, having a good old day, and then he walks into this like golden forest, and there's this like glitter just floating around, and he's like looking all around, and he's like, where am I? So fairies actually mock humans who wander into their domain, because human religions have forbade the feast of and the sexual adventures that the lives of the fairies are centered around. So
I totally agree with that.
I know, right? So
humans really hold themselves back from
who would have thought?
feasting and sexual adventures.
I think that's why fairies have the name nymphs as well. Nymphs,
right?
Because they're little nymphomaniacs.
Yeah, they are DTF, man. Those fairies.
It was like the fairies in True Blood.
Yes. Hell yeah, girl. Hell yeah.
I wish that show just never ended.
I love True Blood.
I did too. I mean, I read those books way before that even came out, and I fell in love with it.
I loved how you say, Suki, come here, Suki, Suki.
I still loved Eric more than Bill, though. I think Eric was fucking hot, man.
Yeah, Eric is fine. You want some blood? I have so much blood. You're gonna have blood.
All right. So now they show this lady, this green lady. Again, she doesn't have wings, and she's kind of like doing like a little dance like this, and she's floating around the forest. And then her little friend comes over, and they're just dancing around this guy, and they're just kind of seducing him, and they're touching him and all, and he's like sitting there like, what the fuck is going on, right? They take off his clothes, his weapon falls on the ground. So in Sauin, the fairies could kidnap mortals with little chance of escape. So this is what they did. They would seduce the men or women, and they would be gone. These people were never found again, and they supposedly were kidnapped by fairies and taken into the fairyland. Okay.
I'm surprised this doesn't happen to more men. Like,
really?
How easy would it be?
I know.
Honestly, come on.
So as I'm watching this, right, I'm like, oh, okay, is that it? Like, is it going to get any more like, okay, they were doing like a little dance, and they were kind of like seducing him. So then they say that somehow, if you're stuck in the fairyland, you can somehow get a message to your family, and you can let them know where you're going to be on the next Sauin. And at the right time, they can actually go through the portal and bring you back over. And I guess people have returned a year later on Sauin from the fairyland. So that's crazy too, you know?
Wow.
All of the
I know.
postcards are from Florida. We've been in Florida this whole time. Come and get us.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Dre, you so naughty, girl.
I
You so
know. It's not even 5 o'clock
You guys-
yet, girl.
Girl, we be
You guys
zooming
don't
and
even
she
know.
be drinking.
No, so my husband comes home from Lowe's and then he like, I don't know if you guys saw this because we're zooming and we can see each other, but I jumped out of my skin because I was super into Timo's story about, you know, the fairies and like they're like sitting there together and
They're
and I was
getting
like,
all freaky.
ooh, like looking in there, and I was like staring at the phone, and he opened the door and he's like, babe, and I was like, ah! I just died.
He's like,
I
are you
saw
looking
it.
at porn? No,
I saw you were
I'm
looking kind of
zooming.
like laughing, like kind of sneaky. And I'm like, what is she laughing at?
I was cracking up. I had to mute myself because he was out of me.
I love
And
it.
he was like, I'm gonna bring you a drink. I'm like, yes,
Oh,
thank you.
He's like,
It's-
you
it's
need
only
to
4 o'clock.
relax. You're very
Take a big
Mhm.
swig because you're about to get
Mhm.
more interested in my story here.
Oh, I was super in it. You don't even know. I was just like, he snuck up on me. That was crazy.
Okay, so the fairies were very seductive, and there were myths of when they crossed over portals, they would take humans as lovers. They would even have marriages to each other. But if you crossed over and you were to be with the fairy queen, so now we get to see the fairy queen on this little documentary, right? So they're saying the fairy queen was wild, untouched by morals or sexual inhibitors. She would put the young man, and he had to be in his prime, into a trance. She would make him eat fairy food of slugs and leaves. So they show her stick, she's like sitting on top of him.
Oh,
She
God.
takes this like
Ew.
handful of like goop and she sticks it in his mouth, right? And he's seeing like grapes and strawberries and berries.
Oh no.
And because he's in this trance, he thinks it's the most delicious food that he has ever tasted his entire life. And he would lose all memories of his previous life. And this is all happening while she's on top of him having sex with him. Okay.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Then they pan to these 2 friggin' nympho fairy girls in the back, and they're like watching and like panting and sticking their tongues out like dogs. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, it was so crazy.
This reminds me of
That
high
is
school
so
a little
gross.
bit. You know what I mean? Weird.
So fairies have
no.
also crossed over into our realm. They have also taken human lovers in our land, and they have also married humans. So there are many important Celtic families that have claimed that they descend from these unions. So I don't know.
Can you like find out like on
I know.
23andMe or something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? DNA swab? No?
That's so crazy.
I could be part Fae.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
50% fairy. I love
I
it.
need some of those fairy powers, that's all.
Mhm.
So in the 14th century, there was a huge fairy raid. And from the clouds, they came to reclaim a fairy who was allowed to marry a chieftain for 1 year and 1 day. So they're coming down from the clouds and they come to the castle and they're going to take her back to fairyland. And of course, she's sitting there with her baby in her arms and she's crying and she doesn't want to go, but she knows she has to. So she hands the child over to her husband. She makes him promise to her that he will never be alone and that he will never cry alone again. And he tells her, yes, I promise you. And she gets taken away. Well, he goes into a state of depression and his people decide to throw a big festival for him to help him feel better, I guess. And he got a young maiden to take care of his child. And they were up like in the tower, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But so as she's looking down at the festival and daydreaming of being there and dancing and drinking and having a good time, the baby starts crying and screaming, and she's not attending to him, which was the promise that she wanted her husband to make sure that never happened. So she heard his cryings and she came back over to the human realm. She took her shawl, her fairy shawl, and she wrapped it around the child and sung the child back to sleep. Now she went back to her fairyland, but it is said that whenever now this castle is invaded, there's battles, even famine or the plague, this shawl has kept them safe and had that not happen to them. And supposedly, now I don't know where this is, but that shawl, they fly that shawl like a flag over that castle today.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's somewhere. I'll
Fairy
have to
shawl?
find out. Yeah, I have to find out where that is. So Samhain has always been a time of dark love and incandescent sexuality. So there's, disguises, costumes, darkness, danger, intoxication. So this has given Halloween basically, or Samhain, a potent sexual aura, which is true because Halloween, you kind of like feel like you can do anything, right? And all the little hoochies dress up like hoochies. You know what I mean? Like you're just like,
what are you talking
get it all.
about?
Well, because I'm gonna be a nurse for Halloween. Oh, a nurse or a sexy nurse? I'm gonna be a sexy Freddy Krueger. It's like
I'm gonna be a sexy mouse.
You guys, this is so hilarious. So I had Ricky when I was 23. I only knew his dad for all that time. And so I hadn't really gone out for Halloween, right? And when I left him, because he was a cheating bastard,
What?
I finally got to go out.
Dang.
I finally got to go out.
What's up?
So my brother invites me to this Halloween party, and you guys are gonna laugh, and it's very reminiscent of something, and you guys will catch it. So we were watching
like Mean
Pirates
Girls?
of the Caribbean. Yes.
Did
So
you show
that's
up in like a
exactly-
granny costume and all the other girls
No,
were hooches?
it was so funny. So Pirates of the Caribbean, the witch. I can't remember. It's been so long, but she was really like kind of ugly. She had like ugly teeth. She was a beautiful actress, but she had like dreads,
but
and she was wearing like this beautiful Victorian dress, right?
Yes,
and it was like all tattered and stuff. So he was like, "Yeah, we're going to this party. It's going to be a costume contest and stuff." So man, I went all out. I had like the nasty teeth. I had like all of it. I had the dreads and the like tattered clothes and like huge Victorian freaking dress that I got rented from some like Halloween store, like a rental. It wasn't even just like a cheap, let me buy this dress.
Oh my
It was
God.
like, it was insane, like this heavy ass dress with like 20 layers on it. You couldn't see any part of my body but like the top of my boobs. That was pretty much it. Like they were just popping out. But I look like scary as fuck, basically. So I walk up to this party and everybody's wearing nothing.
Oh my God. Did you win at least?
I love
I think
it.
I won scariest or something. But it was just so horrible. I'm like 24 years old. I'm like showing up to this party.
You're like
And
single,
my brother
ready
just
to
laughed.
mingle.
Yeah, right. Nobody was talking to me. They were like, "So, what are you?"
Who hurt you, girl?
Unpeel me like an onion, baby.
I was like, never again. And then I think the next Halloween I was a Hooters girl. So I learned my lesson.
Hey.
You're like, I get it. I know how to do it now.
Yeah, I know how to do this now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So you guys, I'm going to do this, okay? I'm going to do this. So Samhain was also a time when young maidens could do a ritual to see their future husband. Y'all, we're doing it on Halloween. So the number 9 stands out. So it has to be 9 young maidens, and they go and pick vegetables out of the soil, and they make this huge pancake.
What?
Just go with it. Just go with it.
Vegetable pancake.
Right.
So they eat the pancake, and this gives you the promise that that night you will have erotic dreams with your future husband.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you could do lots of stuff to have erotic dreams. You don't have to eat a veggie pancake.
This is the ritual, Red. This is the
Okay.
ritual.
All right.
You have to dig
Okay.
them out. So you better plant some shit.
Yeah,
I know,
did
right?
you plant some shit?
I do have radishes. They might be like teeny
Radishes
tiny.
will do. A
Oh.
I don't know
radish
if we want a
pancake.
radish
Yeah, the
pancake.
radish pancake. I know.
Eh. Can we do pumpkin pancakes? Let's go
I don't
pull
have-
out some pumpkins.
I don't have any pumpkins growing.
Let's go
What
find
can
some
grow in 2
pumpkins.
weeks?
What?
Yeah, what can grow in 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah. So if you did the ritual right and you did it and it was extra powerful, the husband might actually appear in the flesh to you in bed.
Damn.
Damn.
This is
He
so
so good.
survived.
What better?
Yeah.
What better Halloween but 2020 Halloween?
I
Like
know,
this
right?
needs to happen.
Shit.
Okay, so
should've
they want to
planned
know
this ahead
what
of
the
time.
big deal with number 9, and 9 is a multiple of 3, and supposedly 3 is the magic number. 3 represents the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And also they said, if you think about you're finding your husband, there's 9 months of pregnancy. I don't know. That's where the number is coming about. I don't know. But then back in the day, they did something called apple ducking, like the animal, duck, duck, quack, quack, and snap apple. Okay. So apple ducking was what we do today is dunking for apples.
Mhm.
And snap apple is where they hang the apple in front of you on a string,
Okay.
and you have to grab the apple. So
Mhm.
the apple was a symbol of the Celtic love goddess. And if you were the first one to grab the apple by your teeth, you were going to be the first one married on the following year. So that was another thing that came from those days, is the dunking for apples.
That's cool.
So as the years passed, the other world basically turned into purgatory. Samhain became Halloween. The Feast of All Saints, they decided that would be November 1st. November 2nd was the Day of the Dead, which is Dia de los Muertos. And on that day, they prayed for the dead that had not reached heaven yet. So purgatory, basically. So during this time, beggars and then later children would go door to door, promising to pray for the deceased of the household. And in exchange, they would get soul cakes. And what these were they were little cakes made with dough and currants. And this is what you would get instead of trick-or-treating, right? So then they wouldn't take the cakes and eat them. What they do is they would take them to the nearest priest. The priest would bless them, and then that would instantly release the deceased from purgatory, and they would rise to heaven.
From little cakes,
Soul
the cakes,
Mhm.
soul
It was
cakes.
yeah, representative.
Bless the soul cakes, and you're out of purgatory. That makes sense. That all
Yeah.
lines up. Sure.
And then
Cool.
instead of saying trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat, they would say, I pray, good missus, for a soul cake, a plum or a pear, an apple or cherry, any good thing to make us merry.
Oh,
So that's
I
what they
like
so isn't that cool?
Cute.
That is.
Sips?
Yeah.
Cute.
I had never heard of Sauin. Is Sauin a form of Samhain? I'm wondering.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I've heard of Sauin, and I just think it's so interesting to hear about where our traditions come from,
Right.
how they changed through time, and why that they happened in the first place. I love like the history of things. It's fun.
I thought I was going to go into a more American history of Halloween, because I know some of that stuff, right? And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, this is really interesting, because it's something that I've never heard of before. I didn't know about the true fairyland, like that whole custom and how it's linked to Halloween. And like I said, I did not know, I've never heard of Sauin before. So I thought that was really cool. And it ended up being really fun. I'm glad that I did that, you know, because I don't think too many of us even know that as well. I mean, if I don't know it and I know everything Halloween, I guess it would be new to everybody, right?
Well, I knew about it, but I'm just like really, really smart. You know what I mean? Like higher IQ. Do you know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
great.
I get that. I get that.
Good job. Yes.
That was such a good story.
Halloween. All right. Are y'all ready for
Badass story of the week.
Girl, give me a badass. Give me a badass.
I got a badass for you. I got a couple badasses for you. They're cute. They're a cute little badass story. And I did keep it a little bit Halloweeny for you.
Yay!
It's really
Halloween.
cute. And I'm hoping that this is still going on. So there was a father-daughter duo in Pennsylvania in a little county called Luzerne. And what happened was they had seen this tunnel in their neighborhood that was just full of graffiti and urine and stinky and dirty and dark. And, you know, they didn't like it. And apparently in this little town, there was like really nothing to do. You know, like when you go to like these areas of the world, sometimes there's just nothing to do. You get like a bowling alley and maybe a movie theater, but not anything too much. There's not too much fun going on.
Small town life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's hard for us to wrap our minds around that. My stepdaughter lives in Kentucky. So she gets this a lot. There's like nothing to do. They go to like one mall and there's like just a handful of stores. There's not much to do there.
I couldn't do it, man. No.
Thank you. Like I need the beaches and Disneyland and Magic Mountain. I need it all. I need all of it. So so the dad worked for Public Works. And they had seen this nasty, ugly tunnel and decided, you know, his daughter had this idea that he wanted to like come to fruition. So he went and he asked Public Works, hey, why don't we go in there and paint off all the graffiti? So they went in and they painted the whole thing like a dark blue, kind of like a royal blue navy color, like a mix. And they painted it over with the permission of the city. And then they went ahead and they decided that they were going to make it a creepy tunnel for Halloween.
Oh, how fun.
For the kids. So they put in lights and the city was going to go ahead and pay for the lights. The community was like super excited. So they actually helped paint this thing, but it all came from the little girl's idea. So the dad's name is Lucas Bobbitt and the daughter's name is Dayona Bobbitt and or Dayana Bobbitt. And they just wanted to do it for the community. So they painted it and everybody in the community kind of gathered and helped out. And then they put like a big light strip down the center. So it was like finally lit. And then for Halloween, on top of it just being a better place and everyone able to walk through it on a daily basis, for Halloween, they created like a scare zone. So when you go through there for Halloween, it becomes like a, you know, like kind of like a haunted tunnel. And they have like a fog machine and like scary people and everybody comes out and walks through and so much fun. And the little girl said that I think she was about 11 years old when this all happened 2 years ago. She loves scaring people and she likes getting scared and she loves Halloween. So this was her way of just giving to the community. And the dad, I guess this story went viral. The dad was like, I just wanted to help people. I didn't want any attention. I just wanted to, you know, do something for our little community that would put a smile on everyone's face. So hats off to these two. Little story, little Halloween story. I almost feel like we need something like this in our little town, you know?
Yeah.
More people like that.
That I can't go through because I'll be so scared that my legs will give out instantly and I'll have to crawl with my arms out of the tunnel. Yeah, we should put something like that together, Dre. That sounds great.
Yeah. No, we were always told to like stay away from those tunnels. Yeah.
What I love is that they just had an idea and they put that idea into action. And I think that's the difference between, you know, winners and non-winners.
Non-winners.
Right? I don't want to say losers, right? I just want to, when you put something into action and you get it done, so many people say that they want things, right? Or they dream about things, but they don't put it into action. And that's all the difference. And they put it into action. And then this community was able to enjoy it because they put it into action. And I love that.
Right.
That's cool. Good, badass. Good job.
Yay.
All right, loves. You guys can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all the social medias all the time. Hit us up. Yes.
This week, this week I'm going to be updating our website handcuffsandsagepodcast.com. I'm going to put up the pictures of us at the little boutique that we did on Saturday. So you guys can, those of you that missed it, you guys can see a little bit of what it was like. It was a really good time.
It was a lot of fun. You guys can email us any kind of true crime paranormal stories at handcuffsandsage@gmail.com. Check out our Patreon page. We always are grateful for the support from everybody. If you could take a second and leave a review for us on iTunes, that always helps us out. And we still have our raffle that I'm going to be pulling on Halloween, that we will pull Halloween. The way that you guys get entered into the raffle is you leave a review on iTunes and your name will be entered. If you have a friend that leaves a review, you get even more entries. And it's a really cute, you guys saw them on Saturday, like really cute, like little Halloween bucket full of goodies and stuff like that. So make sure to do that. Get your name in so you can win on Halloween or Sauin. All right, you guys, are you ready? Remember, we do what we want.
Woo-hoo!
Woo!
Bye.
Okay, bye. Handcuffs and Sage is hosted by Red, Timo, and Dre in a shitty guest room in Los Angeles.
Theme music is Leave Now by We Are Wasted. Cover art done by Megan Winchester.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Show us some love on iTunes. Be a badass and do what you want. Until next time.